Pretty, huh? I have zinnias and wildflowers all over. The vegetable garden's going crazy, and it's July 1st and it's hot. So a lot of people are worried about putting fertilizers down on their vegetables, on their flowers, and they should be. This is a time of year where you have to be a little bit careful with not only your lawn, but your flowers, your vegetables. Am I going to over fertilize? Am I going to burn them? So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we naturally do this. We have not used fertilizers in any of our gardens for the past 2 years. We've just used these super compost piles that you can make up in 24 hours and put right in. It's very simple. We're using the Dirt Booster product, but one of the big keys to this is understanding what mycorrhizal fungi is. You may want to Google that and understand that, and how important of a role in the summertime that is to your plant's roots and your lawn's roots. How it extends the roots naturally, protects it from bad fungus, helps the plant get more water and more nutrients in. So that's really what we're doing. We're not just feeding our gardens. We're creating a living soil with lots of microbial activity, but lots of good fungus. Again, mycorrhizal fungi. You're going to hear me talk about that a lot. So I just have a bunch of footage from when we're out here working in the garden. The Good Witch came by. I did some stuff, so bunch of different things. I'll just string it all together, and anything I'm talking about, there's always one link in the description, and I build a web page for you guys, so I list everything on there. Hit subscribe. You don't want to miss this beautiful face, and let's go. But she's afraid that she's going to damage the plant if she goes in here, so I'm going to cut it out. That's a nicer one. That's pretty. That's gonna make, I've got someone that's gonna make me zucchini bread. That's the whole deal to this. That's why I'm letting them get a little bit bigger, but there's a few more in here too, I think. Let me see. One of the benefits of having your own garden. I want you to look at that. That is zucchini bread with whipped cream cheese on the mouthful. So one of the guys at the warehouse, his wife is the best cook I've ever known. She's a great baker. Look at that zucchini bread. So I sent her over some of these zucchinis, some of these huge zucchinis, and she sent me back some bread. What a great bartering system. If you grow your zucchinis and let them get big, find someone that can make zucchini bread. That is so good. So the Good Witch, can you see her? I don't think you can see her. She's back there. So the Good Witch is here, and let me explain what we're doing with these crazy gardens. What we're doing is we're taking anything that's more of a grass and clumpy, we're just going to trim it down. We're going to trim the lower parts of these tomato plants. We've got a ton, as you can see. Look at all these tomatoes in here. But let me ask her while she's sitting here too. So last year at this time, we lost a lot of this garden from what?
Fungus and blight.
Fungus and blight. And this year, I see almost none.
It's phenomenal. The difference is night and day.
It's just leaving this natural, using the microbial spray, using the Dirt Booster has really helped us out. One of the things too is you know what I don't see is I don't see insect damage.
Yeah.
And part of that is because we have a lot of birds in here all the time, and this place is full of beneficial insects because of all these wildflowers. Now the first thing she said when she saw this was, oh my God, I need to get some of those wildflowers. I'm like, you're not touching my flowers. She wanted to press them. But what I'm talking about is this. So look at all these wildflowers in here, but it's growing around a tomato plant that's full of tomatoes. I mean, look at this. Is that crazy or what? So this is that multiculture that we're talking about here. We're talking about a multiculture where we have all these plants growing in around everything. Now, there are a few negatives. We have learned, look at how bad the pepper plant looks. So the pepper plant, we don't know. We're gonna come back in. We're gonna put Dirt Booster around it and get this thing to come back up. But tomatoes, zucchini, squash, all that stuff is just amazing. It's just incredible. Howdy. So today I'm going to be taking some of my dirt booster compost piles and top dressing my gardens. I have some video from yesterday that I'll probably put up too. The good witch came over and she started taking some of this big pile that I made. I took 3 bags of black cow compost and I took a bag and a half of dirt booster mix, and we made this big compost pile, and it got really hot. She took that while it was still active and worked it in around the roots on all these plants back here. Well, I still have more in my pile, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm just going to scatter some of that in the gardens by hand. And why am I doing that? It's because we got rain. We got a nice shady day. We're probably going to have some heavy rains, and it's a great time. Remember, what is fungus like? Fungus likes dark, damp, warm. Got that? So I've got mushrooms growing back in my yard over here, and why is that? It's because it's damp and it's warm out. It's a fungi. It's all fungi. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to start to throw the rest of this pile over here. Just give you a few tips. I'm going to be tying up some of these tomato plants. Just so you know, a lot of people ask. I go to Walmart, and Walmart sells this really thick yarn. There's only one type of it. And it's $2.50 for a whole roll. And for most people, one roll will hold you the whole season, but I went ahead and bought 2 more because I need to get a lot of these tomato plants, because these tomato plants are getting heavy with fruit. I've got one tomato plant I'm sitting here looking at. There's probably 25, 30 tomatoes on, and they're all big tomatoes. So I need to start tying them up a little bit more. But let me show you the compost pile. We made this pile, and it was really big, and we stole all of the active part of the pile the other day and worked it in. I'll show you that. But today, so then I went back and I remixed it, I sprayed it, I wet it with a hose, and now it's all back active and it's hot. It was 142 degrees this morning. And why do I keep it covered? So the main reason I keep this pile covered is really to hold the moisture in, to be honest, because it generates so much heat that a lot of that moisture can get out. Look at that. That, my friends, is a thing of beauty. You have got to see this. Oh, look at all that. Now, this is the mycorrhizal fungi, and that fungi actually surrounds the plant roots and extends the roots. I'll repeat myself again. It doubles the size of your roots. Your plants deliver the fungi sugar, and in return, the fungi deliver water and nutrients to your plant. Completely beneficial. This is what you want. We're doing it on our lawns with a dirt booster and the microbial pack spray, and we're doing it in the gardens with these compost piles. But I'm also, every once in a while now, I'm starting to take those microbial fungus packs and spraying my root systems now that it's hot and damp. Perfect time for it. Let's take this thing's temperature real quick. I just use a grill thermometer. And outside it is about 82 degrees in my pile. We're probably going to get up to in the mid 130s, somewhere around there. 133. You can just feel the heat. 140, 141, 142. But watch this. Watch the steam come off this. Watch. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Look at all that steam. That's just nuts. That is just nuts. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to scoop some of this into a bucket, and I'm just going to start throwing it out by hand. Oh man, you gotta see this. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? I'll be honest. I don't know if I can reach in that bucket to throw this dirt around. Now I'm not digging it in next to the roots, I'm just top applying it so I can put it out while it's really hot and active, and then I'm just going to let the rain, or I'm going to water it in or let the rain water it in. But I may actually burn my hands, I may have to get a glove. There. So I'm just going in, I'm just going to lightly just throw this around all the plants. Now, understand this concept. One of the reasons why we sprayed this microbial pack is because we are implanting spores of this fungus into the soil. So when we spray it on our lawn, we are impregnating these spores into the soil that don't exist. They don't exist. Now I'm actually not only doing that, but I'm adding the active fungus to the top layer of this. Should be perfect. These guys. A little bit right along the base. Isn't she gorgeous? Oh, she is just so pretty. My favorite. So let me explain what I'm doing now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray more spores into all my gardens. So I'm going to make up about a gallon or half a gallon of water, and I'm going to add, now the dirt booster comes with these packs. I order extras, I'll put a link to the packs below, and this will be impregnating more spores into the soil. More the better. And I've got plenty of these packs, plus I have the big bulk. Was it 8 or 32 ounce? I don't know. Comes out like a powder. If you ever used to puff those mushrooms when you were a kid, it's kind of what it reminds me of. But there is a little bit of molasses in here. There are microorganisms, microbes, as well as the fungus. Living soil, that's what we're creating. And I'm just going to stir it up, and then I'm going to pour it into the bottles, into the spray bottles. I'll pour it into these spray bottles, and I'll go along and spray this. Right on top of that dirt booster that I just added the active. Just put this on the end of your hose. I always use a hose. Every single one of my hoses, by the way, has a hose shut-off valve. You get it at Lowe's or Home Depot. These little brass things. Put them on every hose. And then I'm just going to go in. I'm not watering. I'm just wetting the dirt booster compost that I put in, adding more spores to the base. So it's just a quick shot. So, a few people have been asking me about my banana tree. The past 2 years we've been doing basically, we allow our lawn fertilizer to hit the bottom of it, but all I'm doing is just taking a little bit of this dirt booster compost whenever we make it up and just throwing in a little around the bottom. And hello, hello, hello. So all I'm doing is I'm just coming. This is just dug into regular Georgia clay soil. And again, I'm spraying microbial spray around it, and then hello. They're monstrous. If you ever want to have a barbecue, you could wrap up a whole pig in them. Morning. So it's the next morning, and let's just go over and look at the garden. If you're wondering about how do I make these compost piles, go over to Dirt Booster. I've got several videos over there on me making these Dirt Booster piles. You just buy black cow compost manure from Home Depot or Lowe's, mix them up, and they're ready in 48 hours. They'll get really hot. All that organic matter will start to be digested. It releases the nutrients. That was my phone pinging, by the way. So we're starting to work them all in here. Again, I did all that treatment in here yesterday, and everything just looks phenomenal. I mean, just looks gorgeous. Last year at this time, I'd come out here after all that heat, humidity, and rain and be full of fungus, and I just don't have it this year. Knock on wood. But all these wildflowers, I mean, look at that zucchini plant. I've got all kinds of birds. I've got all kinds of bees. I've got everything good going on. I've got all this is just intermingled all in here, and I've got all kinds of tomatoes. Look at this. Look at this plant, okay? Just popping out tomatoes, nice and healthy, and look what's growing in amongst it. Just these wildflowers. Same thing here, just wildflowers just growing all around this. Just crazy. So the urge is to have a nice, clean, neat garden where you have a plant space, put down mulch on top of it, keep it, and you have to, we're learning through this experiment that you kind of have to fight that urge to have that nice, clean garden. Let it return to nature. Let nature do some of the work. I mean, look at this. That's just gorgeous right there. That's just an absolutely gorgeous tomato plant. I mean, normally by now I'd be all full of fungus. I'm seeing a couple little leaves here. I'll just come in and pick them out, but we're not even really pruning the bottoms of our plants. We're leaving them. You know, we always thought it really had a lot to do with the airflow, but this garden's really compact. So, anyways. Hope this helped, guys. Again, learn about the Dirt Booster, use this natural stuff, and enjoy your garden. Doc.